again. Welcome again, Dr. Greg. We have Danny Mcfarlane in the house with us. Paris has come and Paris has gone. Some people have achieved a lot. Some people didn't achieve what they set out to achieve. But I can tell you, Danny Mcfarlane, that as much as people are disappointed with the 7 medals, I am somewhat disappointed, but I'm happy we had at least 7 medals because a lot of countries went out there and they have nothing to show. So I can say that I am happy that at least we came home with 7 medals. I also want to take the time to salute those athletes who won medals and those athletes who gave their best but fell short. I can say if you are still young, then you have another Olympics. If this is your final Olympics, then I wish you all the best. But Dr. Mcfarlane, it is a pleasure to talk to you again. We go way, way back. How are you, my brother?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I mean, I can't complain about nothing in life at this point. And it's an honor to be here with you again and talking about the subject that get us here and give us the opportunity to can share this time with Jamaica and just to talk to you in general.
All right, I'm gonna go jump straight into it because it's serious business now. We are gonna go
All
straight
right.
to
At Thermal Windows Incorporated, we recommend TS28 low.
we see where the big three,
Mhm.
Sharika, Shelley and Fraser, and Elaine,
Right.
the two of them seem like they are transitioning out of the sport. We
Right.
expected medals from at least two of them who were on the
Right.
Olympic team. How
Right.
do you see um, Elaine situation now and Shelley and Fraser transitioning out and Sharika Jackson injured? How do you see that affecting Jamaica moving forward right
Well,
now?
well, with my experience and looking at where they're at in their career, especially the age factor and the amount of workload they did over the past year, I think Jackson still have some more time. But once you start to hit a certain age, sometime, and as I said, the pandemic did not do us well because they've been running like 4 years or 5 years back to back, competing hard. And I think it's taking a toll a little bit. I think Jackson just turned like the big three or something like that, 30. And yeah, I think injury might start to creep in here and there. But I still think that once you get past this injury, she'll be okay to medal again, and I think she'll be the best 200-meter runner in the world come next year once she stay injury free and hopefully also the 100-meter. With Shelley, I think Shelley. I mean, I tip my cap to Shelley for a sprinter at 37 was running that good, and it's sad that she go out like that. Couldn't get to compete in the semifinals and the finals at the Olympic, but I think that. Um, you got to look at Shelly's situation too. Shelly seems like she's a smart individual. So I'm not saying she can't. She don't say she retires yet, but it's going to be interesting to see what she do next year. I think at her age, injury going to be a major problem. So I think we definitely know she's on her way out. Um, with Ilian, one of the most pure sprinter I see in my time, and I hopefully she can at least come back and give you 1 or 2 years. But I think the body sometimes is telling aliens something, and I think they got to figure out a way in order to get the body to give them at least 2, 3 more good years. So that's where I'm at, and but we got the young ones. We got the young ones that I'm looking forward to, though. Yeah.
No, you run up until you're 30 something as well. I think
40. I run up until I was 40. Right.
40. So with that being said, I think the big three maybe they might have a few more years left back based on what you say. I see now where the field events are doing great.
Right.
What do you think contribute to that?
I mean, I just think that they're in a system where you see Jamaica going out and the sprinters doing good. And when you are around a system that and you constantly see people doing good, it forces you, no matter what event you do, in order to put your best foot forward and see if it can medal all. So I love to see what the field events doing. I mean, and I'm hoping it start to turn a different medal tally for Jamaica that we can look forward to. Kind of sad to see Danielle went out like that, but I'm hopefully she can bounce back and give us some medal because I think she's really great.
Mm-hmm. As you talk about Danielle, I want to talk about Danielle Thomas stud because a lot of
Right.
people don't know that she won the championship for Jamaica 11 times. She won
I didn't know that.
American. She won indoor medals,
Yeah,
outdoor
I know
medals. So a lot of people think that she is not as good. The situation that happened to her, do you think it could have been prevented? Do you think it was wrong for her to say what she did? If you were giving her any advice, what would you actually tell her?
I mean, if I was in her corner, like, okay, let's start with the emotional outburst. I understand that. I understand that sometimes you're in a situation like that, you just gonna say it the way you see it. That's so. I wouldn't. I would have take that. I would show her a lot of empathy for that, knowing that she's frustrated. That and she explained clearly why she was frustrated. She frustrated because her coach couldn't be there, and we as an athlete who've been there, done that, we know how much our coach mean to us. To the little details, just to constantly remind us of what to do. They might be working on a certain technique or a certain strategy, and knowing that the coach couldn't be there to kind of implement those leading forward. I can understand where she's coming from. I think for the Olympic Committee, I don't know if it's a president. I know somebody come out and say that in order for her to make a next team, she got to apologize. For what? I don't think she apologized. They should understand and say, "Hey, Daniel, I'm gonna take the side where I'm sorry that this happened to you. Let's see what we can do better for the next time. In a situation like this, come to us and talk to us, but don't take the side and say, yo, we're gonna suspend her, she's gonna apologize. I don't think she needs to apologize to nobody because the athletes is what are letting us get contract and letting us be there. The Olympic Committee act like they're the one that get themselves to the Olympic. If the athletes get them there, so I think they should take time and listen to the athlete a little more and show some empathy and stop trying to act like they're a child, like their feelings hurt. They're grown man. Stop
You
acting
know,
like their feelings hurt.
did you know that 6 years in a row, Danielle asked for accreditation pass for her husband, who is
Six
also her coach and physiotherapist,
six
um,
years in a row.
years in a row. And I think this time around, when she saw others benefiting and she was in a hole, I think she took it to heart. And it just got into her mind. And I think that
Wow.
prevented her. So I was hoping that those who are in leadership would understand, based on what you said, that having someone close to you to guide you through tough times, especially a
Hmm.
coach with the experience,
Right.
would be beneficial to the athletes and to the country. Because when we look on Stoner, his coach had all the knowledge and the experience, world champion, Olympic champion, and
Hmm.
so on. and it helped. We could see that it helped. And then when we see where so many other people in our time, there were a lot of people who had accreditation, they never threw a ball, they didn't run a race, they didn't throw they didn't throw a javelin, they did nothing, they benefited from that. What is your thought on that?
Well, and that's why it's good that Jamaica, the world is hearing from two athletes that have been there. I've been there. I see everything that Danielle is talking about. I witnessed those stuff. So I witness people at the Olympic, friends, family, of accreditation, of all of that, who they have nothing to do with track and field. They have nothing to do with track and field. And I think that I am always say this. The J3, the Olympic Committee, the JOA, I don't know who is putting these people in position. But you have to put people in position to understand the mind of an athlete who been there, done that, who understand how the athlete mind work, who understand what it takes to compete in a certain setting, who understand the little minor details that they don't think is important might be one of the most important things to make that athlete. I remember with me, when I'm competing, I don't want nobody to talk to me. And if you come and talk to me, I get upset. And a lot of people wouldn't understand that. I only want you to talk to me unless I talk to you, because once I'm out there sitting down ready to warm up, it's only the few people around me. And Willa did understand that, because Willa used to be around me a lot. So once it's my time to get ready, they know they don't talk to me. And it's a mental thing to keep me focused. And so I think if we did have people that understand what Danielle is going through and understand where our mind frame is coming from, I think we could do better and make sure she have our coach and make sure everything is work better for her. And I think that's where the J3 and the JOA is missing a lot of stuff.
You know, I remember in 2000 when I won my first Olympic individual medal that I was going out there to run the finals, and
right.
I didn't even realize that the corner was so long. I was so focused on other things. And I remember a coach came to me and he said, Greg, the corner is longer than the average corner. So if you try to make your move too soon, you would run out of gas. And I didn't even see it that way until he brought it to my attention. I said, whoa. And if I had made my move at the time that I wanted to make my move, I really would have run out of gas about 30 meters from the tape. So these little minute details that you're talking about, they're absolutely important. And it's only someone with the lived experience, the knowledge and understanding can help and lead through that.
And that's why I'm wondering. When I look at the J3 and the JOA, it's like they just and I think we talk about this all the time. They just take their friends and put in position and the same people over and over. The same people who don't have no experience with track and field, don't have no experience with nothing, just want to take trips. They don't understand how an athlete develop, when they got to start get certain things to be developed. They don't understand how our mind work. They don't understand that in order for us to do good and continue to do good, it's got to be a win-win situation. It's not a win-loss situation. You know what I'm saying? So the day you only want to win. I don't care if the athlete lose. And once the athlete start to lose, everybody gonna lose. And I just think that, I don't know, if the government or somebody got to step in and make some change and implement and put people in the system that understand what it takes. I'm always saying this. We've been doing great. And I think Jamaica, we just living by the blessing of the Almighty God. All the time we do great because we have like Frano and certain coaches that was holding it up. But it wasn't the official. It wasn't the J3. It wasn't them because they don't understand it. And even some of the coaches, no disrespect to the great Fano, no disrespect to Mr. Mills, no disrespect to a lot of the other coaches, and Mr. Wheeler, no disrespect to them, but they still don't understand what it means to step out there in that pressure zone, because they never experienced that pressure zone. So, and as I said, it's no disrespect to them because they do great. But we need people along with those coaches that doing good who understand what the pressure zone is like. You understand what I'm saying? And then we can surround it with some other people who are going to learn. But we have to have major athlete that been through it, that been through the system in order to keep us growing.
You know, I was talking to a friend and I saw Tia Clayton and I realized that, yes, she's young, she's inexperienced, so she wouldn't know what to expect out there. And I remember she said something like, whoa, there's a lot of people in the stands. Whoa. And you could tell that if you don't have someone who can inform you to say, when you go out there, don't look in the stands.
Don't look in the stands.
Have your energy. She wouldn't even know that.
She wouldn't know that.
So the pressure that you're talking about is a similar pressure that Kishian faced in the final with that high power field who also wanted to win. And he said it in the interview that, you know, he got a lot of experience from the pressure situation. So maybe next time he'll know what to do.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the pressure and the impact it has on your performance.
Well, I think Kishan did great for the first time going out there. Because with that pressure that, hey, no, you like the favorite, you're supposed to win, you know, and for him to go out there and still did that good, I tip my cap to him. I think next time he understand what he feel like, so I expect to see a different person. But the pressure for me going out, I never look in the stand. I remember one time, you remember we experienced this, it was 93. Stuttgart.
Yeah.
And I was the second best quarter miler, but I never experienced this before. I remember I go with you guys around the 4x4, and then I turned to you, I was at the back, I said, I'm not going back out there.
Went back out there, and like, wow.
I was like, yo, I'm not going. So if you don't have people who've been there, so the J3 need to pull on some veterans, some people that compete over and over, some people that solid and known to just say, hey, listen, don't even look in the stand. Remember what you do. It's just there. Go to what you're used to, compete, just understand what we got to do. We got to compete hard, execute. Don't worry about nothing else. You know, you need that calm in mind to let them understand. And it's okay to lose too. But we know that's not the goal. Just relax and compete. So
you know,
we need that.
You know, I could focus my mind better than some people, but it took a lot of energy. And as you said, when you go out there, you never want to talk to people because you were trying to get in that zone where you could see everything. I'm going to answer your question. Since we're on the J3 topic, the JOA and the J3 made their issue public. The world knew about it. Everybody was talking about it. Do you think the issues between the JOA and the J3A affected the athlete performance in any way? Because some people say it does and some people say maybe not.
I mean, I could see it affect a lot of the athletes. Maybe not so much of the veteran, but I can see it affect most of the athletes because most of these crew was kind of new. And they can feel the energy, they can feel the division, they can feel it. It's just human. And if for example, if athletes saying certain things to the J3 and the J3 say, hey, you know what, the J-Ho, hey, doing this, they're going to feel the division. So the JOA and the J3 got to come at one. And this is what I think. The JOA, knowing that they got to cater to the J3A in this situation because the J3A know what the athletes them to a certain point. You know what the athletes them want. So as I said, Greg, all of this thing is bad management. I don't think, I'm going to say this clear. I don't think none of those guys are in it for the athletes. I don't care who they are. Nobody. I don't think nobody on the J3 are in there for the athletes. I don't think nobody on the JOA are in there for the athletes. And I think that's why the circle keep this small. I mean, Lord, what been there for like, hey, the last Olympic medal I get was 20 years ago. Lord, what is still a part of the system, and he was there before I get the medal. So how much years do we got the same people doing the same, and there's the same old thing coming on? We need to move people out. So I don't think that they have the best interest. And that is why they would have never sit down and hold a conversation with me. And that's why I love the white tie. None of them, God Gary, never hold a conversation with me. So yeah.
I believe that we need to have more patriots
Right.
in both the GOA and the J3A. I think we need to have people who knows what the athlete needs and they are willing to do what is in the best interest of the athlete.
Yeah.
I think because when you even look on the situation, even with the fans, the athletes are in the village, they're burning up, and they have the money to purchase the fans, and they choose not to do it. And then you have athletes have to go outside. You remember when we were in Sydney and we had no way to communicate with one another, and they had the funds, and we wanted the telephones, and every other country was getting the telephones. And I remember when DJ Dennis Johnson got up in the meeting and said, just give these athletes the phone. And within the blink of an eye, we had it. So if someone didn't stand up for us to say, give it to them because they deserve it, we wouldn't have gotten it. And the phones were so helpful for us to communicate with everyone.
And that's what I'm saying. We go back to what I was saying. These people are not in there for the athlete. We see people come, and all they come is trying to get stuff to take back home. They go shopping, they go do this. They're rushing people to go to certain practice, certain time. You can't rush grown ass people. I don't know. Hopefully, I didn't say nothing wrong. I didn't curse or nothing. They can't rush grown people to say, hey, go do it at this time, I'll go do that. No, you find out from us, what worked best for you, and we set the situation. So, but they don't want to do it. They don't. I remember running for the University of Oklahoma. Even though my coach, we say, hey guys, we're going at a certain time, or going at a certain time. Our coach still say, hey, what worked best for you, Danny? What you think you want to do? We know we do it this, but how you feel? Okay, coach, I want to go at this time. Okay, all right, boom. All right, what we need to eat. You know what I'm saying? They don't, when I was there, they don't show that. They don't show like they care about us. They show like, hey, we're going to shopping, we're going to eat, we're going to take the gears, we're going to give it to our family, we're going to walk around in some gears that athletes don't forget. So until and I think the government can get involved in this too, because they're representing the country, until we get somebody who understand, or bring people like who understand what it takes to be run this system, it's gonna go the same way. And one more thing, credibility is a lot. If me or you on a team, and we say something, say I was there and the fourth other guy is going out, and I say, hey, walk over to him and say, hey, this is what I see. This is what you need to do. I think, and talk to his coach too. There is not one of them gonna say to me, oh, don't listen to him, he don't know what he's saying. But if you have some other people who never been there, try to talk to them, more likely, because I used to see coach try to talk to other athletes when we were running, and athletes used to say, oh, they don't know what they're saying because they didn't have the experience. If you look at America team, look who's there. Everybody who's coaching them been there and done that. He's been there and done that.
So what is it do you think the athletes need from the J3A and the JOA? to win medals? What is it that
Well, back in my days, and I'm gonna say this, what I think the athlete them need, they need funding. I think that we need to have a system, and I always say this: we got to have a level system. So certain people get a certain amount of money, and we actually do that within the contract, so we can support them the right way. And I was listening to QB, and I hear QB said the money is there. So if Puma not paying it and Adidas willing to pay it, I think we need to get a manager who can come in, who understand what it takes and what Jamaica work, and make sure when they do the contract, you implement those things in the contract so we can fund the people them better, because people need rent to pay, people need supplement, people need certain type of treatment, massage or whatever. And then we have certain amount of money that we got to put towards the younger one. So for a brand like Jamaica, I think that if we have the right people spearheading it, we can get it done. So
I agree. I think the money is there. When I look at other countries and I see the amount of money that they're getting, and I look at my country to see how we are dominating the track and field for so long, I can't see why we are not getting the money. I can't see why someone would take a smaller contract and walk away from a bigger contract. But that's it for another day. I have another question I want.
Well, all up. I'm gonna say this. We know if somebody's taking a smaller contract, to me, it seems like there is something else for the person who's taking the smaller contract. Because it wouldn't make sense for you to take a smaller contract if the person that doing the deal not getting something under the table or something. Because it's just common sense. It don't make no sense. Why would I take a smaller contract if I'm not? Because I got to get something on the table, because smaller contract, that means I'm not going to get enough money if we just go and buy a smaller contract. So I think there is something going on.
I get it. The other question is, I heard Kubi talking about the different clubs, and the clubs really were designed to make it better for Jamaica and for the athletes, because the club provide a lot of the things in terms of the athletes' development. But we see now where the clubs are looking out primarily for the athletes and not necessarily for Jamaica, because the way when we look at the recent World Relays and we see how coaches and the clubs would not allow their athletes to go and try to qualify, then it makes me now wonder, what is the purpose of the club? Should the club and the national team work together? How can this be fixed to make sure that the clubs and Jamaica are one, because they're one in the same?
Well, that's where it come on to leadership, and that's where it come on to even if we're friends, but there's a certain criteria. So if I'm gonna pump money into your club, this is how this gonna go. And if you cannot do it this way, then we're not gonna pump no money in this club. We're gonna find other ways of pumping money into the system. And it's all about a strategic plan, and people sit down and work it out. If they're giving the club, and J3 got to make sure that they're letting the coaches let them know ahead of time, hey, we got to do this. But if they're putting the money in and not getting back from the club, then something is broken and somebody's not doing the right thing.
So basically, the leadership now would ensure that whatever rules and regulations set up, the rules must be fair in terms of all the clubs. If you're going to distribute monies with the growth and development of the athlete, it must be very clear, because we have been asked for the longest time to say, look, is there a tier system? How can I get the benefit? Why is athletes so-and-so getting the benefit and other athletes with similar talent, similar ability not getting the benefit? What are the criteria to make sure that I can get the help that I need? So the good leaders will ensure that
Yeah.
this information is clear. And I can't seem to get it to why is it that it is so difficult to get written documentation on how things are to be so that at least them can at least know.
They're difficult to get because the man them not playing fair. I mean, hey, I'm smart enough to know that's the only time people don't want to put things in writing. Because if people want to lie, it's just like, I don't know if he's a president for the Olympic, and he said that, well, they're helping this field events here and doing that, but he don't want to tell you what they're doing. I remember somebody say back in the days, they said they helped me, and I'm gonna say, yo, a $1,000 you give me my whole life. You understand what I say? Maybe $1,000 or $2,000, maybe something like that. Maybe I gotta check back, but I knew you wasn't giving me no consistent money for me to even try to make life out of it. You know, so when people don't want to put details out there, because then you know they're playing games. And I think these guys develop this and nobody question them and push back at them when they do these interviews for details. Because once he said to me, well, we help this, I'm not going to tell you how much. No, man, you can't be saying that. You got to, once you bring that up, no. Let we know because she's saying this. Let we know in details. Because this is Jamaica. This is not a private thing. Let we know how the money goes. So I think they're doing this and they're throwing out stuff out there so that way they don't have to answer to where the money goes. So
did you know that it was reported that after the situation with even Danielle, that the BBC wanted to talk to a couple of the people in charge, and they went on the website to find the names of all the members of the federation so they could contact them, and they went on the internet, they went on the website and took out all the names because they did not want to have the conversation. And I'm saying that if you're representing athletes, you should not be afraid to have the conversation. So you understand what I'm saying? They did not want anyone to know who held whatever position because they did not want to have the dialogue. So,
listen, Geg, I came the man that I played. You can't tell me nothing. They have a system and they're taking stuff. And yeah, I can say it. So they can come at me, come sue me or whatever. I feel like these people, and it leaning, this is opinion, but there's a lot of facts I'm using to base my opinion. When people doing stuff like this, they got a lot to hide. They got a lot to hide, and I think there's a lot of money is going places that it's not supposed to go. And I think it's so bad that the athletes are out there working so hard and cannot reap the benefit. I'm going to go back to something we were talking about, leadership. I remember one time in New York when I wanted to run and to show your leadership was important. And you look at me, and me were cool, and Blackwood was there, and Blackwood was running better than me. I was in New York, and you look at me and like, Danny, no, we are going with Blackwood. I'm like, what? I'm them like, all right, cool. Because I know it makes sense.
Okay.
So even though me and you tight,
we were best friends. And
right.
We were in New York at the Goodwill Games, and Blackwood was the young and upcoming 400-meter runner, and he was running better than you. And I was making the decision in terms of which 4 to use. And you thought that you were going to get the break because we were best friends. And it was tough for me to say, Danny, look, man, I can't do it. It wouldn't be right. And you were
extremely. It wouldn't be right.
So I understand what you're saying.
So I was upset, but I accept it. Yes. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, I know Blackwood is running better than me, but I'm a competitor. So that's why. But once, I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I remember the time when Sanjay, and me and you fight for Sanjay at 2000, when there's certain people want to run over Sanjay, and Sanjay was young. I was like, no, This man is run better. So you need people who can sit down and even although they're cool, they can put business up front and know that this is business, and we're gonna say, hey, this is the best for the country, and this is the best for the country. And you need people who, I think, when we step up, say we're gonna meet with federation, um, international federation. You need people. That's when we step in that can recognize and say, oh, that's Danny Mcfarlane, that's Gregory Horton, that's Davian Clark, that's Lassina Golden, that's Juliet Cuthbert. You understand? So we come with a certain things to us, and we
I think
not no dummy.
I think that is the fear. I think that if we get in, I think they're afraid that if we get in based on our credibility, that it's going to be hard to take us out. So I get it. I understand that in a lot of ways it might be business for them. For us, we genuinely want to help. I'm at the point where I help in different ways. But let me ask you a question, because I was looking at the relays, and this is the worst Jamaica has ever competed in the relay. We couldn't make the finals. We made the finals, button fell. It was, what do you think contributed to such bad relay performance?
Well, we see this coming from a long time. Remember, I was always talking about the way the relay go out there and the way they run and what they're doing. It was like, oh, they can't do. I was sitting at home just clenching like twiddling my thumb, like, oh, no, don't do that. I'll be yelling at the TV that, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And then I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay. You need people who understand what we're getting into, people who understand the importance of going through the zone. Even for the stick that get knocked out her that young lady hand, you can't blame nobody but her. And I'm Jamaican. She have the button swinging too far back. Look at everybody. You got to travel with the stick like this. You can't have the stick. You can't open up like that with the stick outside, because once you open up, people see the opportunity is there running motion, and you come out into their body. They can knock it out, and there's no problem because your hand come over their line of body. But if you have your stick within your position, within your shoulder right there, somebody knock it out, then you can protest. So she was flaring too much with the stick. Got to teach them that. So I just think it's bad management, bad leadership. People don't know to set 4x4. People don't know who to lead out first. People don't know how to mentally get the 4x4 ready. We just need good people who've been there, done that, who understand the system to go. That's it.
My final question for you, Danny.
Yeah.
I know the purposes of having someone with the lived experience to guide developing athletes. I know it. I've been doing it. I understand it. What will it take to get all federations to start including athletes with the lived experience, good reputation, good moral values, good standard, good leadership? What is it going to take for them to see that there is a need to start including those people?
I'm going to tell you what it's going to take, in my opinion, and it don't have nothing to do with the J3 and the Olympic. I think the government got to step in and say, hey, let these guys that been there with experience, let we see what these guys do. That's the only way, because these people not gonna give it up. I heard somebody say, say God said that to make sure to vote for him, and he's gonna make sure he change, he clean the swamp. I think that was QB during the swamp, and the man never do this, nothing. The man become part of the swamp. So I've been around track and field, Jamaica track and field from 1992. That's a long time. And it's the same face. A few people change, but it's the same major players. You just move from one person. So it's not gonna change overnight. We can't get the vote. because the man them know how to vote in who. I don't know. I just think it's the government. The government got to step in and say, okay, guys, let's such and such. Let a Juliet Cockbird, if she interested, let she step in and let she farm the people them around her who she think can help. I think maybe there's something like that.
You know, I would have to sit down and think about this one because, you know, sometimes you want to put an athlete there with the
Mm-hmm.
experience, and then the athlete becomes a part of the swamp because
Right?
it's easy to influence someone. Well, put it this way: if you have any needs and people understand that you have needs, then it's easy to influence and to be a part of it. So my
What,
aim is, go ahead.
what me said is though, when you put in an athlete, you just don't pick one somebody. You're gonna bring the athlete in, and you're gonna sit and you say to the athlete, okay, if you get this, who and who you'll put in certain position. And this person got to say, oh, I'm gonna put this person, I'm gonna put this person, I'm gonna put this person, and I say, and at the same, because you got the strategy, you already have your mind think that they will become a part of the swamp. So you wanna, if you just give it to them, they might bring the same people around them. But you want them when they're coming in already based on them paperwork because the government have a little bit more say. These people are coming with the person. It's like a football team. In America, you get rid of a coach and a coach coming in, the coach gonna say, okay, I'm gonna bring such and such, and they bring their own people so you can see. So that's the way I think it can change. I just can't think you can say, okay, let me give Danny, so for me, give Danny the job and see what Danny do. No, Danny, who you gonna bring with you? And I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna bring I would see if a Juliet interested, I'll see if a Gregory interested, I'll see if a Davian, and then okay, talk to those people, hear what they say. Then you still gotta have some other people who already in the system who kind of travel to. You gotta put some of those people in it too, you know. But
So here's what
that's
I'm
how I
saying.
would have go about doing it.
Here's what I'm saying, Danny, because I thought about this for years.
Mm-hmm.
We are from a population that can't really help ourselves. When I say we, I mean athletes on a whole. We are from the
Right.
inner cities, we're from some of the rural areas.
Yes, yes.
And we need the support of the clubs, the country, the JOA, the J3A to help us to grow. I put myself in it, I put you in it because we're from the same demographics.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that what we need is to have a sit down with everyone. And the sit down should be one that is based on honesty, because what we're trying to do is to build trust. Where
Right.
the JOA and the J3A is right now, a lot of people don't trust them because of the history. And if they are, as Cuba would say, cure the cancer, is to make sure that this new generation of athletes are not exposed to the things that we were exposed to. The lack of trust, the lack of honesty. We need transparency. We need understanding that you talk about. We need people with the lived experience. So when they are ready, they need to have, this is the first phase, to have a honest sit down where everyone can be represented. You have the people from the government, people from the J3A, people like us who can speak on behalf of the athletes, because at the end of the day, one of the things that Jamaica need is a committee with athletes who can help to make decisions for other athletes. And these athletes must have the lived experience and the knowledge.
Yes.
To at least start the process. It doesn't mean that it will end with those athletes, but it can begin with those athletes. I leave you with the final words.
I think though to cure the cancer, though we got to remove that cancer, and I think a lot of those people we got to remove them. That's why I say we got to keep some of them, but we got to move some of those people. Some of those people got to go because they're setting their mindset, and there is nowhere on earth. For example, I'm gonna throw this name out there. I could have never trust Lottie Watt to be the treasurer. So even if I'm the president or I'm over, I could have never trust Lottie Watt because I don't think he's an honest person. So I could never trust him. So I would have to make sure I go with people that, hey, this is what, and this is what we need to follow, and this we got to follow. You know what I'm saying? So those people would have to go. And you'd have to get the system with people who coming with a different mindset and understanding and know what we're working for. Because if Lottie Watt and God Gill and them is working for their own pocket, we can't change that at their age. we can't change that. So that's my last.
Well, that's your last saying. Well, thank you.
Well, yeah. Unless you have something else to ask me.
Well, thank you for coming. Sometimes you have to take it in strides. I love
Yes.
to have you here. I love the reasoning. I love the honesty. I know that you care. I know that you want the best for our athletes. The athletes are the future, and if they are to improve and grow, then we have to start making better decisions that can benefit them. I think their growth and development should be the ultimate priority. And I think that we, the elders, must start to lead them and show them the way. However, I understand some of us are not given the opportunity to lead. So if you want to make the final, give your final thought, please go ahead and do so.
I'm gonna say this to the J3. When World Championship come up next year, reach out to some people. Reach out, hopefully, reach out to me. I don't know if you want to go, Gregory. Reach out to Davian. Reach out to Lacina. And when you reach out to us, if we say yeah, we will go. Make sure that we're there. I would have put my stuff aside, and if I got to go in for a week because my job is flexible, I can leave. I would go down there and let me be the quarter miler coach. Let me talk to the 4x4. Let me be the hurdler coach. No, you're gonna have other coaches around, their personal coach. But let me can be there to say, hey, put this together, run this guy, run this guy, run this guy. Let me be the person. I'll let you be the person if you want to go. I'll let Davian be the person. I say, hey, let's run this guy, let's run this guy, let's run this female, let's run this female. Let's do this, and then see what happens. Change up it. Put people that been there. Let's see what happens.
Well, that's a good thought, Danny. We can go deeper in it. I appreciate your honesty and your sincerity. And I look forward to having you back.
For real.
I want to thank you all for coming out. If you like what you hear, please go ahead and like the video. You know, you have people who watch the video and they like what they see, but they wouldn't even give a like. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. We are going to come up with some more interesting interviews and topics, so you don't want to miss it. We are not about gossiping. We're about speaking truth. We're about education. We're about supporting the athletes because the athletes need the support more than people think. All right? So thank you all for coming out. Danny, you look like you have something else to say. I give you the final thought, and then I will shut it down.
For the coaches them out there that deal with hurdler, like Jamaican coach, 400-meter hurdler strat, you want to get some a plan, like you can reach out to me, pick my brain a little bit. I just have to make sure that you're going towards specific people. I'm not looking to coach nobody. So even if your athlete talk to me, I'm not trying to coach nobody. I will just help. I'm good in my life, but I will help. I will give you and that athlete some idea, some training plan, how I think you should approach certain things, what I see missing, what I see, how you're approaching the hurdle, what I think. Trust me, it works. If you talk to me, you get better. I guarantee you.
Well, if you want to get in touch with Danny, his email address is dannymcfarlane44@gmail.com. Feel free to shoot my email, and I'm sure he will respond. Thank you very much, Danny, and have a blessed evening. Thank you all for coming out.
My
if
respect.
you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. If you like the video, please give me a thumb up. All right? Talk with you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, my respect. Cool. Oh.